In the hit TV show The X-Files, true believer Fox Mulder and skeptic Dana Scully are FBI agents who investigate unexplained paranormal cases. As the show progresses, the agents uncover a shocking conspiracy. Earth has been visited by aliens. The US government is keeping their existence a secret because an elite government group is colluding with the aliens to help them colonize Earth. So is any of this even possible? Where does science stand on alien visitations? Stay tuned to find out. Greetings, Earthlings. Welcome to Science Fictionally True. I'm your host, Jimmy. On this channel, we talk about the science, technology, and history behind science fiction topics. We also discuss current events about aspects of our society that are moving from science fiction to science fact. This is our second episode in our 5-part Fermi Paradox series. We already discussed in detail what the Fermi Paradox is in our first episode, so please check it out if you missed it. In this episode, we'll continue our series by discussing the possibility that aliens have actually visited Earth, which is a Fermi Paradox resolution. And yes, there have been real scientific investigation and debates over this. Please keep in mind that the topics we'll be covering are based on scientific discoveries or proposed by practicing scientists. The Fermi Paradox states the age and vastness of our universe suggests it should be teeming with extraterrestrial life, yet practicing scientists haven't detected any signs of them. But what if that isn't true? What if we've actually been visited by aliens? This kind of Fermi Paradox resolution is, by far, the most popular amongst the general public. According to the most recent Gallup poll, about 1/3 of Americans believe some UFOs, or unidentified flying objects, are alien spacecrafts. Topics such as ancient aliens and aliens disguised as politicians are a whole can of worms that we won't be covering in this episode. But don't worry, because those topics heavily influence science fiction. We will be dedicating separate episodes to them in the future, so please tune in when they're available. This episode will deal with topics that practicing scientists have explored or will explore regarding alien visitations. And yes, some scientists have actually looked into this because it is a testable hypothesis after all. Unfortunately, the vast majority of scientists believe alien visitations are unlikely. The most famous investigation was probably the Tunguska Event of 1908. The Tunguska Event refers to a catastrophic explosion in the Siberian wilderness. The explosion felled tens of millions of trees over 500,000 acres and sent shockwaves across Europe. At first, many assumed that an asteroid hit Earth. However, when scientists finally visited Tunguska, they found no evidence of an asteroid impact. After World War II and the advent of nuclear energy and weapons, some people hypothesized that the explosion was caused by the crash landing of a nuclear-powered alien spacecraft. And the hypothesis was taken semi-seriously. Researchers revisited the site to look for traces of nuclear activity. Unfortunately, they found nothing, ruling out a nuclear engine causing the explosion after an alien crash landing. Today, there are still debates about what really happened during the Tunguska event. However, most scientists believe it was due to an asteroid that grazed Earth. The asteroid was probably about 120 feet wide and about 220 million pounds. As it entered Earth's atmosphere at 33,500 miles per hour, it heated up from atmospheric friction. Eventually, at a height of about 28,000 feet above Earth, the combination of pressure and heat caused the asteroid to fragment and annihilate itself. This resulted in a fireball across Siberia, exploding with the power of 185 Hiroshima bombs. Scientists at the Jet Propulsion Lab's Near-Earth Object Office have run the numbers and expect Tunguska-like events to occur every 300 years on average. So, Tunguska-like events might actually be quite common. So, scientists believe alien visitation by spacecraft probably hasn't happened, but what if aliens visited Earth another way? Some people have hypothesized that an advanced extraterrestrial civilization could have coded a message into the DNA of living organisms on Earth. Unfortunately, most scientists also believe this is unlikely. Firstly, scientists know that all life on Earth is related after studying the genomes of different species. You may think spiders closely resemble Hollywood aliens, like buggers from the Ender's Game movie, more than us humans. However, spiders actually share a large part of their DNA with humans. Secondly, DNA is not really a good medium to encode messages in. Artificial messages in DNA are subject to random mutations and evolutionary forces. These events change DNA, which means the original message would get lost over time. Lastly, scientists have actually looked for artificial patterns in viral DNA, but found nothing. Today, scientists have sequenced the genomes of many species, including human. So, if scientists really wanted to, they could search for artificial patterns in human DNA too. However, that's an understandably low priority on their list of things to do. Ironically, Panspermia, a more generalized version of the previous hypothesis, is more plausible. In Panspermia, life itself is the message, and all living organisms on Earth, including humans, are the aliens. This idea seems unbelievable, but it hasn't been ruled out by scientists just yet. Scientists believe life arose rapidly on Earth. What if life was delivered to Earth, ready-made? Scientists have discovered that microbes can survive in outer space. Therefore, microbes could have originated from other planets and traveled to Earth on comets or meteorites. And if Panspermia is true, then life could be commonplace throughout our universe. But wait, there's more. In 1966, astronomers Iosif Shklovsky and Carl Sagan proposed a more bizarre and interesting version of Panspermia called directed Panspermia. Directed Panspermia states advanced extraterrestrial civilizations can deliberately aim spores at lifeless but habitable planets to seed life on those planets. Perhaps life was sent to Earth via probe instead of meteorite. But why would an advanced extraterrestrial civilization spend their time and resources to do this? Well, your guess is as good as mine. Maybe they're conducting some grand astrobiological experiment. Or maybe they faced an unavoidable global catastrophe on their home planet and they needed to throw a Hail Mary to preserve their genetic material. Directed Panspermia has been used as a plot device in science fiction. For example, in Star Trek, many alien species in the Alpha Quadrant region of space appear humanoid. The reason for this was finally revealed in the episode The Chase, 27 years after the first episode of Star Trek premiered. The crew learns that a long-dead race of humanoid aliens conducted directed panspermia throughout the Alpha Quadrant after discovering they were alone in the vastness of space. In the show, this explains why life throughout their galactic neighborhood is so similar despite hailing from distant worlds. Of course, in actuality, the aliens' humanoid resemblance was because of the limits of visual technology at the time of filming. The show settled on using humans with facial prosthetics to pose as different alien species. But I digress. The directed panspermia hypothesis was expanded upon by chemist Leslie Orgel and biologist Francis Crick. Crick won the 1962 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for co-discovering DNA's double helix structure, so his words were not taken lightly. They noted that, if true, directed panspermia would actually resolve certain puzzles in biology. The first puzzle is, why is there only one genetic code on Earth? A universal code naturally follows if life was derived from a single set of microorganisms, like one sent via space probe. The second puzzle is, why so many enzymes depend on the element molybdenum. Molybdenum is an uncommon metal on the Earth's crust. Therefore, it's surprising that life evolved requiring this element for so many of its vital processes. It would be less surprising if life arose on another planet where molybdenum was abundant. Now we're going to discuss a topic many of you have been patiently waiting for: UFOs, or unidentified flying objects. Over time, some have adopted the term UAP, or unidentified aerial phenomena, in place of UFO because of the negative stigma attached to the term UFO. However, for our intents and purposes, UFO and UAP basically mean the same thing. in recent years, some events have renewed public interest in UFOs. The first event was the discovery of Oumuamua in 2017, the first object ever detected from outside our solar system. Most astronomers believe that Oumuamua is a reddish cigar-shaped or pancake-shaped asteroid made of rock and ice. However, some astronomers weren't convinced when they scrutinized the data. Their argument: Oumuamua had very unusual properties that did not resemble any known asteroid or comet. The object had very unusual aspect ratios. It was also at least 10 times more reflective than space rocks typically found in our solar system. Its surface was more like burnished metal than like rock and ice. Most strangely, it accelerated after swooping by our sun at a rate faster than expected. Objects accelerate when moving away from the sun because the gravitational forces exerted by the sun become weaker as objects get further away. However, Oumuamua accelerated faster than what can be explained by weakening gravitational forces alone. Comets exhibit similar accelerations because they eject evaporating gases from their surfaces warmed by sunlight, causing a rocket-like propulsion. However, Oumuamua showed no signs of evaporating gases around it. A small number of astronomers, most notably Avi Loeb, suggested that Oumuamua could be a product of alien technology. We'll dedicate a separate episode exploring both sides of the argument in detail, so please tune in when it's available. Another reason for renewed public interest in UFOs is the release of 3 declassified videos taken by US Navy pilots. The videos showed encounters with objects, seemingly aircrafts, with extremely bizarre flight characteristics that could not be explained by known technology or even our current understanding of physics. The UFOs were observed across multiple sensors, including radar, infrared, and electro-optical. The declassified videos went viral, and the US government eventually even confirmed the validity of these videos. In June 2021, the Pentagon released a preliminary 9-page report to the public about 144 similar cases of UFO encounters they secretly studied. There's a link to the report provided in the video description below. They couldn't explain 143 out of the 144 cases because of limited data, and although the report doesn't claim alien technology as an explanation, they didn't explicitly rule it out either. However, the military did acknowledge unknown aircrafts flying in our airspace poses a national security threat. In August 2021, the Department of Defense established the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force to further investigate the mysterious flying objects. We'll have separate episodes delving into the declassified videos, US Navy pilot accounts, and arguments by skeptics, so please tune into them when they're available. Oumuamua and the declassified videos garnered enough public interest that some scientists plan to conduct rigorous scientific studies on the UFO phenomena. In July 2021, astronomer Avi Loeb announced the Galileo Project. The project, led by Loeb and physicist Frank Lokian, is a new venture searching for artifacts left behind by advanced technological extraterrestrial civilizations. At the time this video was created, the project has attracted over $2 million in private donations. It will focus on 3 major avenues of research. 1. Getting high-resolution images of UFOs using multiple detectors. 2. Conducting in-depth research on Oumuamua-like interstellar objects. And 3. Searching for potential satellites originating from extraterrestrial civilizations. The project is aiming to set up tens of telescope systems around the world, although Loeb hopes to eventually have hundreds. Each telescope system will consist of 25-centimeter telescopes with high-resolution cameras. They will be connected to a computer system programmed to filter out and analyze the data. Scientists at the Galileo Project were very careful about the project's scope and limitations. They acknowledge that the UFOs may end up having mundane explanations, such as undiscovered atmospheric phenomena. However, whatever the explanation, they want to figure it out. In a news conference, Loeb said they want to conduct a transparent and scientific analysis using their own data, not data based on government-owned sensors, because most of that data is classified. They also acknowledge the impact of potential discoveries of extraterrestrial technology rigorously validated by scientific evidence. Such discoveries would revolutionize the field of astronomy and our world views, so these studies are worth pursuing. The team hopes to start getting results as early as 2022. Please tune in to the next episode, where we continue our 5-part Fermi Paradox series by discussing another class of Fermi Paradox resolutions. The possibility that aliens do exist but just haven't visited Earth yet. Again, the reasons covered are based on scientific discoveries or proposed by practicing scientists. If there are any topics covered in this video that you'd like to explore further on your own, sources are given in the video description below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to turn on notifications so you'll be updated when new videos are released. Also, please let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like me to cover in future videos. See y'all next time.